Hiya! Welcome to one of the most popular Bohemian neighborhoods in Mexico City. With a vibrant ambience and an extensive cultural offer, I present to you Coyoacán. Coyoacán is located in the south of Mexico City. Its name has a Nahuatl origin and it means the place of the coyote owners. Coyoacán is one of the 16 districts of Mexico City, but long before that, it was an important town. Since the 12th century and by the 16th century, when the Spanish arrived, it was a settlement with around 6,000 houses and multiple places for religious practices. After the conquest of Mexico, the original buildings were destroyed, and using the same materials, the Spanish rebuilt the town in their way, developing the characteristic colonial architecture. And the stone paved the streets we see now. Back then, the Xochimilco Lake covered the eastern portion of Coyoacán until it was drained in 1607. Nowadays, the only remain of its aquatic past is in the avenue Rio Magdalena, where the river Magdalena, now part of the drainage system, still runs. Modern Coyoacán is characterized by its chill Bohemian vibe, turning it into a magnet for poets, philosophers, painters, and writers. Some of its most renowned residents have been Frida Kahlo, Diego Rivera, the revolutionist Leon Trotsky, and even the Literature Nobel Prize Octavio Paz, all of whom, except for the last one, have a museum in the area. But before we talk about them, let's begin with the basic things you cannot miss. And stay until the end as I will show you a hidden gem of Coyoacán. This area is full of colonial colorful houses and historical buildings, as well as countless charming spots that create a wonderful atmosphere. But if you don't have too much time to get lost, one of the best streets to walk is Francisco Sosa. Here, you will find some of the oldest houses, and you will be walking over 500 years of history. Because this is the same road that connected Coyoacán with Tenochtitlan, now the center of Mexico City. Churches of Coyoacán are also iconic, small, colorful, and with a colonial style, usually located in vibrant squares. Starting from the east, you will find the Chapel of San Antonio de Padua, built by Franciscan monks in a Baroque style and just next to the river Magdalena. Then is the Church of Santa Catalina. This was an inclusive church where all races could mix, unlike the Metropolitan Cathedral that was exclusively for the Spanish. As you get closer to the center of Coyoacán, there is the Church of La Conchita. In its Baroque facade, you can appreciate the syncretism of the culture, mixing the traditional pre-Hispanic carving style but representing Spanish Catholic motifs. And in the center of Coyoacán, you must visit the church and claustrum of the main parish of San Juan Bautista. This church was built where the main pre-Hispanic temple stood, using its original volcanic stones. Franciscan monks started the construction in 1522 and took them 30 years to finish. Over the years, it has gone through some restorations, maintaining its Baroque facade and a Churrigueresque style in its interior. The center of Coyoacán is delimited by two main squares, the Hidalgo Garden and the Centenario Garden, each one with iconic elements of this neighborhood. In the Hidalgo Garden is the main parish of San Juan Bautista, the letters of Coyoacán, a kiosk brought from Paris to commemorate 100 years of the Mexican independence, and the Alcaldía or Town Hall, which was built in the 18th century. Across the street is the Centenario Garden, where you will find an arch. This used to be the entrance to San Juan Bautista Church's atrium, meaning that the two gardens used to belong to the church. And just in the middle of this garden is the most representative element of the neighborhood, the Coyote's Fountain. Take some time to walk the gardens, have a rest in a bench, and look for street performances, as there is always something going on here. Both gardens are surrounded by restaurants and bars, with a great gastronomic offer. Alternatively, not too far away from the Hidalgo Garden, you will find the Mercado de Antojitos or the food market, where you can try traditional Mexican street food. For a perfect souvenir, cross the Hidalgo Garden and step into the crafts market, or Mercado de Artesanías, to find a wide variety of crafts from different parts of the country. There is another craft market specialized in textiles and also offering food. This is the market number 89 in the street Malitzin. Now, if you need more shopping options, you can find handcrafts on the street of Coyoacan, especially during the weekends. And as a proper Bohemian neighborhood, there is also a square where painters sell their work. Coyoacan has a great cultural offer with plenty of museums to visit. Very close to the center, you will find the National Museum of Popular Cultures, which was created to preserve attires and traditions of indigenous people from different regions of the country. It is full of color, photographs, and authentic handcrafts created by native people. It is truly remarkable and is definitely worth a visit. And on top of that, it's free entry! Also, not too far from the center of Coyoacan is the Leon Trotsky Museum. Trotsky was exiled from Russia in 1929 after opposing Stalin's regime. He moved among different countries until he obtained political asylum in Mexico in 1937. It is said that the Mexican communist painters couple, Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo, used their influence in the government to reach this status. Trotsky lived with the couple for 2 years, until he had a fight with Diego. The official version says that they had political disagreements, but rumor has it that Trotsky and Frida had an affair. Hence, in 1939, he moved with his wife Natalia to this property, where the museum stands today, place at which they stayed for only 15 months. During this time, they survived an armed assault from which bullet impacts can still be seen. From this attack, walls were lifted and a vigilance tower added. But that did not impede a Stalin's agent to reach Trotsky, stroking a fatal blow in 1940. Leon Trotsky and his wife Ashes are kept here. Walking a few streets away, you will find the Frida Kahlo Museum, also known as the Blue House. This is the house where Frida was born and raised, where she lived with her husband, Diego Rivera, where they hosted Leon Trotsky and his family, and where Frida also passed away. The Blue House exhibits daily use items, some of Frida's attires, and paintings by Frida and Diego. In recent years, this museum has gained great popularity, so much that it is the most expensive museum in Mexico. And to the best of my knowledge, it is the only one in Mexico where you must book in advance. There is a good side though, because your ticket also includes the entrance to Diego's museum, called Anahuacalli, which is also in Coyoacán. The Anahuacalli Museum is further south. Its name comes from the Nahuatl and it can be translated as house surrounded by water. Diego conceived this place as a habitable, artistic, architectonic piece to guard his abundant collection of pre-Columbian art as his legacy to the Mexican people. Diego chose this place for its unique landscape. 2,000 years ago, the Xitle volcano erupted, leaving lava layers that initiated the development of a new ecosystem. The area where the museum is located comprises 60,000 square meters, 28 of which are of an ecological use to preserve native plants and wildlife. The building combines the pre-Hispanic and modern aesthetics, and its design is based on the Teotihuacan architecture, particularly in a teocalli, or God's house. The ceilings have beautiful mosaics, aiming to combine the old and the contemporary worlds. They were made by Diego Rivera and the architect Juan O'Gorman, who was also in charge of the design of the building. If you want to see more of O'Gorman's work, click the notifications bell so you don't miss our coming video about the University City. A very peculiar fact of this museum is that it combines fake and real objects. The majority of them are not specified, and the holes don't represent specific time periods or cultures. This is because Diego's aim for this museum was not historical, but artistic. He wanted to share the beauty of the pieces without their context. This was the magical neighborhood of Coyoacán, a great place to enjoy with a Bohemian vibe, full of history and culture.